Revelation chapter number 20. I'm going to read several texts in the book of the Revelation, and I'm preaching on the subject this morning of the lake of fire. The lake of fire. And look at Revelation 20 and verse number 10. And the devil that deceived them was cast into the lake of fire and brimstone, where the beast and the false prophet are, and shall be tormented day and night forever and ever. Drop down to verse 14, please, in Revelation 20. And death and hell were cast into the lake of fire. This is the second death. Verse 15, and whosoever was not found written in the book of life was cast into the lake of fire. Look at Revelation 21 and verse 8, please. But the fearful and unbelieving and the abominable and murderers and whoremongers and sorcerers and idolaters and all liars. And that phrase, all liars, mean their life is a lie. It doesn't mean they tell one lie and they go cast into hell. Lying is wrong, 1, 2, 5, whatever. But that phrase means that their life, they're living a lie. They're living a lie. Jesus is the truth. And they're living a lie. So that's what that phrase means. And all liars shall have their part in the lake, which burneth with fire and brimstone, which is the second death. Now look with me, please, at Revelation 22:15. For without are dogs, and sorcerers, and whoremongers, and murderers, and idolaters, and whosoever loveth and maketh a lie. Those are the places we find the phrase lake of fire. We call it hell, but in a very distinct description, it isn't different than the hell we know today. When sinners die today without Christ, they go to hell, which the word means place of torment. And they're tormented day and night until the resurrection of the unsaved, and then they will appear in the great white throne judgment in Revelation 20 verse 11 through 15, and then they will be cast into the lake of fire. So the lake of fire is the final abode or dwelling place of torment and suffering and pain of all the lost of all the ages that died rejecting Jesus Christ as their personal Lord and Savior. The lake of fire is a description of the final place of torment for all the lost of all generations, including the devil, the Antichrist, and the false prophet. So if you die lost, and you don't plan on getting saved, and you sign a contract with the devil saying you're not going to get saved, you're going to take your chances, and you die lost, then you will end up forever and forever in this place called the lake of fire. And there's no parole, there's no getting out, there's no getting out on good behavior, there's no parole in the penitentiary of the damned. You're there forever and forever, and we'll say more about that in just a minute. But in Revelation 20, verse 14, or Revelation 21:8, the lake of fire also refers to the second death. It's called the second death. Now in hell, if you're so unfortunate as to die without Jesus and go to hell, and Jesus is the only escape, the only way out of hell is Jesus Christ, and He shed blood at the cross, then you will be equipped with a body that cannot die. but it can feel suffering and pain and anguish and regret and feel the torments of the fire, literal fire that is in the lake of fire. So it's referred to as the second death. Of the lake of fire is the final eternal punishment of all of those in all ages that denied Jesus Christ, rejected Jesus Christ, were not saved, and refused to come to Jesus for forgiveness of their sins and let Him change their life. My friend, it's an awful place. I'd much rather preach on heaven, but God directed me here today. Now, where does a lost person go now when they die? They go to the place called hell. And the word hell means place of torment. Place of torment. That's what the word hell means. And souls are there today screaming for a drop of water, lost forever, without God, all getting ready to go to the lake of fire after the great white throne judgment of God. This is in the Bible, by the way. Many preachers, you couldn't take a .38 pistol and get them preach on the lake of fire, hell, but I'm not one of them. Never will be. It's not very popular, but I'd rather warn you and you believe on Jesus and go to heaven